editor, speed editor, speed editor, speed editor, editor. This is the Davinci Resolve Speed Editor. Never heard of it? Well, now you have. In this video, I'm going to be answering the question, is this worth the hype that so many YouTubers seem to say? This video is going to be a little bit different. My name's Dan, and you're watching DanVinci. So first of all, I'm going to be answering the question of what is the Speed Editor?
Yeah, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
The Speed Editor is a tool that comes with the paid version of Davinci Resolve, which is otherwise known as Studio. Just to give you a real idea of what this is, it's a really solid piece of kit that allows you to accurately scroll between different clips within your edit timeline, cut timeline. It's made of solid plastic with really tactile buttons that are actually quite satisfying to click. Here's a quick clip of me clicking them. It's also got LED lights on some of the buttons to indicate which buttons you've got currently selected, which I think is a very nice touch, and also has an inbuilt battery, which I don't think it even needs, but they've done it, which means that you can use this wirelessly with a Bluetooth connection.
The Bluetooth device connected successfully.
Okay, cool, so that's a basic introduction on what the Speed Editor is. Let's move on to a basic tour of the Speed Editor. Starting in the top left, you will see 6 different buttons. Now, these are known as your intelligent edit modes. For example, append, place on top, and ripple overlay. My personal favorites are smart insert and place on top, simply because they're real time savers, especially if you're the kind of editor that likes to save tiny increments of time over a long period of time, if you know what I mean.
I don't understand.
Then just below this, we have the in and out markers. These buttons are pretty self-explanatory. You'd use these in your in and your out when selecting a clip. Then below these buttons, you have the trim in and the trim out. These are used for trimming your clips. Now, the transition button is also very useful. If you hold this down, it allows you to change the duration of a transition using the scroll wheel. Real handy little tool. And then moving on into the middle section, or otherwise section 2.
Section 2, acknowledge.
The top buttons are general keyboard shortcuts. Now, these are ones that I think I use probably the most. And of course, there's the obvious ones like trans for transition, escape, full view, and ripple delete. There's also a nice audio leveler button thing, whatever you call it, audio level thing, words. And then below these general shortcuts, you have the cam buttons. Now, these are the buttons I haven't ever used. I'm going to be completely honest, I've never used them, okay?
I've never used them once.
But these are really good for multicam sequences. So let's say you have several cameras all synced at once and you want to quickly switch between them on the timeline, you can do that with this. I personally like to edit in a very traditional sort of Adobe style where you sort of sync everything and I basically like to see everything on my timeline, all right? I like it messy, sort of like my videos.
I'm a complete mess, you know?
And obviously below this, we have the lovely stop and play. Oh, I just clicked play on my own timeline.
Are you dumb?
And now we're on the final section, section 3.
This is amazing.
Now, at the top right, we have source and timeline. Now, in editing, it's sort of a universal thing to have this sort of layout, where on your edit page, you have the source, which is your media pool, for example, and you have your timeline window. If you've imported something and you want to look at something before you put it in your timeline, you would watch this through the source feed.
Sauce.
Source.
Just below these 2 lovely buttons, we have, I've forgotten what that one is. I've actually forgotten what that one is. Shuttle, yes.
Get a shuttle ready.
Shuttle's really useful for, let's say you want to scrub through things or play things backwards. You can control the playback of your timeline. Basically, if you scrub it to the left a little bit, it will go into playback at 1 times, for example. But if you scrub left even more, it'll jump up and go to like 3 or 4 times, for example. Hence why it's sort of shuttling. You're sort of shuttling around, sort of, I don't know, I guess that's why it's called, I don't know. But jog is probably my favorite. When clicking jog, you can just scroll through your timeline, sort of like this. It gives you the ability to scrub really, really easily. Scroll is very useful for, let's say you have a very long timeline and you just need to get to one side or the other, or you've got a very long clip in the source window and you want to just scrub through it very quickly. Okay, so now you have an understanding of what the Davinci Resolve Speed Editor is. Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
If I had to give a yes or no answer, I would say yes. Personally, I wouldn't use it, simply because I'm just so used to using a traditional keyboard. But yes, this Speed Editor is definitely worth the money. There are actually 2 different variations of this. There is obviously the standard Speed Editor, and then there's the Davinci Resolve Keyboard Editor, or Editor Keyboard. But otherwise, that's the end of the video. Do let me know in the comments below whether you have the Speed Editor, whether you like it. I'd love to know you guys' thoughts, but otherwise, I've been Dan, and you've watched DanVinci. I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.